Hi guys, I am back today to talk about ADHD and using natural products versus medication. Um, I have found myself now being anti-medicine as much as possible just because I see the power of what plant-based products and whole raw food can do for your body versus pharmaceuticals. One of my number one testimony with this company, and Genesis Pure Products, is my son. He's 9 years old now, and at age 5, he was diagnosed with ADHD and tried about 5 or 6 medications to help him focus. And, like Adderall made him lethargic, and he couldn't stay awake in class or church. And we finally landed on methylphenidate, Ritalin. That was the best out of what they had to offer for him. And number one is it was expensive. It was over $300 a month, and he wasn't himself. And he came home one day from school and said, "Mom, my friends say I don't smile at school." And I'm like, "What? This kid is hilarious. He's Mr. Comedian and lively." And when I see him, the medicine's off, and I'm like, "This isn't right." And of course, I would see him on his medication, and he just was just flat and just not his normal self. So some of the things, the reason why I put him on ADHD medication was doctor recommended it, is because one, he was diagnosed ADHD, but two, he could not focus in class. He would chew a hole almost in the neckline of his shirt. He would sit there and gnaw on it, and he would come home, it would be stretched out and soaking wet. It was just like a little nervous habit. He would go to the bathroom 10 to 20 times a day at school. I mean, it was ridiculous. The teacher told me about it all the time. Like, he would not stay out of the bathroom. It was just, he couldn't sit still. He would fall out of his chair on purpose. He would tie his shoelaces together. He would, everyone else is writing and he's making racetracks out of pencils on his desk. Some of that is just normal boredom, but he really, had issues. It was behavior issues. Just, the medication did work. It did help him focus, but it wasn't what I wanted to give him, and he wasn't himself. It was all I knew. I wasn't educated. So, last summer, I sat down and talked to a doctor here locally in Jacksonville, and she was like, "Listen, this is what I'm doing for my kids, and it has worked." And so I was like, "I'll test it out. I'll wait till he goes into summer school or summer camp, and we'll start." Well, sure enough, a few weeks later, the counselors were saying, one of the directors over there said they noticed a difference in his behavior and his he wasn't getting in trouble as much, and I just noticed a difference. Well, some of the things I noticed is weight gain, and his vocabulary. It was just like he was growing mentally and physically. I've said this before, but it's a fact. I mean, back in January 2016, his pediatrician, once again, the second time around, wanted him to go get an x-ray of his hand, check his growth plate. He wasn't growing. They were concerned something was going on with his hormones. Um, and then we had to go do blood work, which is not fun, taking a, 9-year-old to the lab, or 8-year-old at the time. And just to see why he wasn't growing. He wasn't gaining weight. He would gain like a pound or two. This was last January. Well, since June, it sounds kind of unhealthy, but he is healthy. He's not overweight or anything. But since June 2016, the boy's gained 16 pounds. If that tells you something right there. The medication was an appetite suppressant. When he was also on that pill, he wouldn't eat until late at night. So I mean, and then he would be wired at night. I would have to give him a lot of melatonin, and I kept having to increase the dose, which gave him nightmares. So anyway, needless to say, he is off of his medication, doing all whole raw foods and plant-based things that his body needs and craves and his mind needs. And he's a totally different kid. He's chill. Like, I don't see that hyperactivity in him anymore at all. And he's a normal 9-year-old boy. He loves to run around and be outdoors and play. I mean, he's healthy. He's just doing great. And I give it all to Genesis Pure and their products. I mean, I give him a little smoothie in the morning with everything he needs, and it's been life-changing. Another thing is he's just never sick. Last time we were at the doctor was for a well visit in April 2016. Here we are a year later almost. So next month we go for our well visit. If he gets a little sniffly nose, it lasts a day, if that. So, you know, um, I always say I can't say enough good things about Genesis Pure. I have my own testimony, but I just want to focus on ADHD and just if any of you have ADHD or if your kids have ADHD and they're on medication and you want to try the natural route, I mean, I have to tell you, like the products that I buy for Rylan and I spend about $125 a month on both of us every month. And I was spending over $300 a month on his medication. So, if that tells you right there, and it's food for your body, for your brain. I just love these products. So, I just want to scream, about it. It's so silly, but, so if you guys are on the fence, if you think, if your kid has, those type of issues or, ADHD and you want to try the natural route first and you don't want to put them on the medication, I can tell you, I mean, I'm not making any claims, but this is what we have seen as a family and he loves taking his stuff every morning. So, um, just message me or text me or email me or whatever you want. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to tell you my story. No pressure. I'm not, trying to sell you the products. I just want to tell you how life-changing it is. So, just let me know and I'll get back with you. Thank you.